Hello and welcome to David Anderson Longbow Arrows. This video is just a supplementary video to complement chapter 1 in my book, Making Wooden Arrows, Becoming an Excellent Fletcher. And whilst this video isn't really part of the fletching process itself, it is an introduction to it, and also just to give you that that thinking that you need before you even go out to buy a shaft to turn into an arrow, or indeed even just to make an arrow itself. Okay, so first of all, it's important to recognize what bow you're making arrows for. Okay, so this picture, this is a longbow, okay, and this one is a flat bow. So our American cousins over the water and some Europeans call a flat bow a longbow, mainly because it's long. That's actually wrong. Okay, so to counter this, because for some reason they can't say flat bow, they have started calling our longbow the English longbow. Now, differentiation here, the longbow is constructed using a D-style profile from the nock end through the handle and then to the other nock end, whereas a flat bow does not have this. The limbs are flat, hence the name flat bow. So a flat bow also has an arrow rest or a shelf which around the handle, which the longbow obviously doesn't. With the longbow, we're using our hand to rest the arrow on it. Okay, and this is an important factor, which is why it's worth mentioning straight off. Okay, now when an arrow leaves the bow, okay, the rear of the arrow, the nock end, moves before the front end does, and it creates this bend. If I do it that way, you can see the arrow bend. Okay, so it creates that bend. Now, as the arrow then passes past the handle, it then bends the other way, and it does this oscillating effect until eventually it will straighten up in flight. Now, this bendiness is called the spine weight. Okay, and we're going to talk more about this in video 4. So now what happens is, because the handle of a longbow, in fact I've got my longbow, one of my longbows here to show you, which is a rather long longbow. This is a training longbow, so it's longer than others. You can see the handle here is round. Now what actually happens is, if we have the arrow sat on here, okay, going forward, you can see, slight exaggeration, but it's actually pointing off to the left hand side. Okay, if you're a left-handed archer, it would point the other way. Okay, now the arrow has to pass round that bend. Let's just put that down there. Now this is called the archer's paradox. With a flat bow, because a flat bow has an arrow shelf or an arrow rest, the spine weight doesn't actually matter that much. It then becomes more in tune with the bow itself. So if you have a 40-pound flat bow, the spine weight of the arrow would also be 40 pounds. Okay, with a recurve bow, again very similar. And if you're talking about compound bows or center shot bows, the spine weight will be almost exactly the same as the weight of the draw weight of the bow itself. Now this is very important, because all the other videos that you would have seen on the internet and YouTube regarding making arrows, none of them talk about the spine weight, which is actually potentially the most important part of constructing an arrow. So we're going to go through that more in detail in video 4. So, as I said, this video is this series of videos that you're going to see is all designed to complement my book, Making Wooden Arrows, Becoming an Excellent Fletcher. And you can buy that book either from my own website, or you can also buy it from Amazon. And all of the videos that I'm creating will be in bite-sized chunks, so they will all deal with one particular aspect of the fletching process, so you could then dip in and dip out, replay and do whatever. Okay, videos marked with a letter at the end. So for example, video 4A This is a secondary video to complement the subject being talked about in the main video. So video 4, for example, is all about weights and measures. Okay, video 4A might be looking at a spine tester, or such thing, or may even be comparison of products or review of products, or those sorts of things. Okay. Please feel free to leave comments. I use these to engage, but also to create new videos if applicable. So this is video 0, which is an introduction to the whole series itself, and I'll post a full list of all the videos in the description below, and amend them as and when they come out. Video 1 looks at what you're going to do with the arrow, and we're not talking about shooting it from a bow. Okay, with the types of arrow that you can go for. Video 2 is going to look at the different types of wood and their properties and what's the best wood to use for your arrows. Video 3 will look at the dowels. These are the dowels here, and looking at the straightness of them and how we straighten dowels if needed. And as I mentioned earlier, video 4 is all about weights and measures. Yeah. Video 5 looks at the shaft size, the spine weight, the grain weight, and what you need to do. And you'll notice that at this stage we haven't even cut an arrow. So we do this in video 6. While video 7 looks at sealing the arrow either with Danish oil or wax or varnish or whatever. And then we get to videos 8, 9 and 10, which actually deal with fitting the feathers, the nocks and the points. So without further ado, on to video 1, and I hope you enjoy the series.